all the members who are going to be participating in the debates. We are going to not waste a lot of time. We shall just have a brief agenda whereby we shall start with an opening prayer. We shall have some bit of self-introduction so that we can be welcomed as that with the people on call. Welcoming remarks from our ECOLA president. Then we shall have an overview of the debate and expectations from Brother Lawrence. Then the next we shall have our debate commencing. And then we shall have reactions and feedback. Closing remarks from the moderator. Final remarks from the ECOLA president. Then we shall have closure. So we are expecting this call to last for not more than 50 minutes. So members, I would like us to really comply in time management. I know we are having different times in our different countries, so let us try not to waste a lot of time. So without wasting time, I would like to welcome Nicholas Ogwang, lead us in an opening prayer.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mauri. Let's humble ourselves wherever we are for the word of prayer. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for this amazing team from the different parts of the world. We thank you for this moment that we have come today to discuss matters that are facing us within our different localities, that we call upon your grace, the Holy Spirit, to come and be ministers, to guide our discussion, so that we go when we have changed, when we have gained enough skills, enough knowledge in this specific area of discussion that we are going to have right here. Thank you, and we ask all this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Nicholas, for that opening prayer. Next on our agenda, we're going to have self-introductions. I would like by starting with myself. Good evening once again. My name is Maureen Awar. I'm from Uganda, and I am so delighted that I'm going to be moderating this session today. Yeah, you're almost welcome.
Thank you. I think, Madam Maureen, you have.
Yes, members, we can proceed with the introductions, please. I don't know, we don't have a format. Anyone who's ready can go on. Yeah.
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Yeah. Yes, good evening.
Yeah, I'm Osman Gira from Uganda, and I'm so delighted to propose this debate this evening.
You're most welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, my name is Nicholas Ogwang. I'm also from Uganda. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nicholas.
I am Joseph Maujom from Ghana.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Abel Wanami from Kenya.
Thank you, Mr. Abel.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Chongwai Precious, and I'm from Cameroon. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
My name is Oxford Timothy Wilanya from Cameroon.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Musime Sidafin from Uganda.
Thank you. We have one.
Are we all in
everyone. Good
evening?
evening, everyone. My name is Anunsha Arafa, a proposer from Uganda.
Thank you. I think we have everyone already in. Probably, I think. Yeah, guys, we are live. Of course, we have already like three viewers, and of course, like in the chats. But you guys can see because we are on Zoom, but we are live on YouTube. So you can. So we have, I think, 5 users already, 5 viewers. Yeah. So I think we can continue, Madam Maureen. You can continue.
Okay, thank you so much. So we are going to just have an opening remarks from our Ecolab president, Mr. Ecoli. Yeah, you're most welcome.
Yeah, once again, thank you everyone for making it possible to be part of this debate. Actually, this is what I call passion to solve community problems. It's not just by doing some kind of research scientifically, but also as well as trying to understand some level of um, difficulties in communities and then bringing that as a solution so that we can be able to discuss our ideas, brainstorm about it, and then we of course like debating upon some certain critical aspect of why we have some issues related to water scarcity. And I think this is very interesting aspect of this debate, which is one of its kind, which we are setting the pace. I think it's the first debate we are going to be having related to our work, which we have been doing across Africa. I just want to say that you guys are all brilliant, and I'm hoping forward to enjoying the session because I understand that all of you are very good experts in water and environment, and I'm really excited to be part of this debate. And thank you. Let's give it a a resounding victory. Yeah, I can say thank you.
Thank you so much. I like the aspect that we are really time conscious, and I would really still emphasize our dear participants who are going to participate in the debate. We need to really mind about time. Thank you so much, our dear president. So we're going to have a brief description on what is expected from us. From Brother Lawrence, he's going to tell us the overview of the debate and also the expectations. What are we expecting from the participants, and so on. So, Brother Lawrence, you're most welcome. I think 5 minutes should be enough for you.
All right. Thank you so much, Madam Maureen, for taking a lead in tonight's debate. And apologies for showing up a bit late. I had a few hiccups with my gadget, but thank God I'm in. Once again, good evening, everyone, wherever you are tuning from. As Madam Maureen has rightly put it, I'm Lawrence Luke. I'm the April president here in Malawi. And tonight I'll be moderating the debate together with Madam Maureen. So actually, in tonight's debate, we'll be tackling a question that touches almost every community, which is something to do with water. You may attune with me that Earth is covered with water, yet only a small fraction of it is drinkable and accessible. And suffice to say, millions of people, they struggle daily to access safe water. As such, our topic tonight will zero in on that very sharp question. If water is so abundant, why is it scarce for so many? So, given your participation tonight, our debaters will examine kind of an evidence, and they should also be able to share their perspectives and they challenge each other's idea. So as one of your moderators tonight, I and Maureen will be guiding the discussion, ensuring that there is that fairness, while ensuring that we are also focused on the key facts. It's not a matter of you presenting whatever argument, but you should focus your discussion on the key facts, the reason, as well as the real world examples. So for us to get started, we would like to know one another, whereby I would like to invite each one of you to introduce yourself at least in 1 minute by making mention of your name, the country you are from, and why what matters to you personally. After such introductions, I'll also give the debate rules for us to abide by. Yeah, so maybe we can start with Nicholas Ogwa from Uganda.
Mr. Luke, I think we already have them introducing themselves. I think you came late, so we can move forward to the next. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Yeah. So that said, let me just quickly present to you the rules. Actually, as I've said, you need to focus on the key facts, the reasoning, and the examples, making sure you speak clearly, and you also respect your time as it was scheduled, and ensure that you are avoiding the interruptions when someone is making his or her argument, and should base your arguments on evidence and what I've just said. So in the first round, I would like to have like we should have we are going to have 2 rounds. The first round is for those who are supporting the motion that indeed, yes, we have water that is abundant, but somehow it is scarce. So others will be supporting that motion, and others will be like doing the other way around. So for us to get started, of course, in the first round, we are not debating yet, but we just want to understand your position and your reasoning pertaining to the topic we have. So I would like to invite those who are supporting their motion, this motion, to come in and present your key facts, evidence, and examples. After that, I'll also invite the second round to come in, and then later we are going to have like a cross kind of discussion to see where was the weakness and where the strong point was. I don't know if I'm clear. I don't know.
Yeah, we can get you.
Okay.
Yeah, so okay. I continue?
Yes, Maureen, continue.
My name is Musimeta Dafin from Uganda, and I'm proposing the motion which says water is the most abundant resource on earth, yet being scarce. First of all, we have to acknowledge the science involved in this debate or in this topic. We all know that the planet Earth is considered to be a blue planet because of the abundance of water on Earth. Because the Earth is covered by 71% water, and the rest are just other features. And when we come to the 71% of water on Earth, we just realize that 97.5% of the water on Earth is ocean and seawater, which is salty, and it cannot be consumable. That being, freshwater is 2.5%, and the biggest percentage of freshwater it is confined in icebergs and glaciers. So here, whereby we cannot access this freshwater, and of which others is also confined in aquifers, that leaving us with only 1% water, which is of the swamps, lakes, rivers, springs, and others, whereby that's the consumable water that we are depending on 1% water. And then it's scarce because it's 1% water that we are depending on, yet we as humans, we are again misusing it. So we are depending on 1% water, but misusing it being more scarce. That's why I think I'm supporting that. That's my view, my point of view in the supporting of that topic today. For now.
Thank you very much. A very strong point there.
Yeah, thank you so much, Daphne, for your brilliant argument. Actually, it is worth noting that indeed we need to do something for us to ensure that we are, we are in line, or maybe we are on the same page with the water as a resource. So maybe for your argument to be cemented further, I hope Nicholas, you can also come in if you are in support with the motion, or anyone in support with the motion, you can come in so that we can see the other side.
Yes, good evening once again.
Good evening.
My name is Gira Osman. I also stand for the motion that water is the most abundant resource on earth, and yet it is scarce. So my first strong point is the unequal distribution of the water. So here we see water resources are not evenly distributed across the planet. For example, some countries like Canada and Brazil have vast freshwater supplies, while others, such as Ethiopia and Yemen, face chronic shortages. Then, even within the countries, some regions face droughts, while others flood. This is a clear sign that abundance does not mean accessibility. So much as we have water on the planet, so its abundance does not mean it is easily accessible to everyone. So, for example, the Nile River supports 11 countries, yet disputes arise because of the upstream nations get more access than the downstream ones. So it means that the unequal distribution of the water makes it scarce for human use in some parts of the world.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wow, that's amazing and very brilliant, Osman. We appreciate and we acknowledge your argument. Actually, any more arguments from those supporting the motion? We are to hear anyone in support. Yes.
Is it? Am I allowed to come back again and to pin other more points?
I think maybe for now we should move on with another person, and okay, maybe when it's time for discussion, you will definitely come in for the sake of time. Apologies. Yeah. Anyone in support of the motion?
Yes, hi, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
My name is Ainam Sharafa, and I'm proposing the motion. I'm from Uganda also. And my main argument, I think, I wish to focus on how water, much as it seems like it's an abundant resource, and but more parts of it are actually, the biggest percentage of it is actually saline. The others are glacier, like my colleague had mentioned. And we end up finding that we only have 1% of the water that is usable. And I'll be focusing on the point that even this 1% water that we have, which should be used, is actually affected by other factors such as pollution. And this is commonly seen in urban centers. I'm going to use the example of Lake Victoria in Uganda, whereby of recent, if at all a campaign hadn't been run for it to be conserved, and 79% of it had been considered polluted environmentally. I'll also talk about the point of demand and replenishment mismatch. This is where water is needed for so many things. Biologically, chemically, water seems to be the basic resource for so many other activities to take place. And in this case, we find that the demand of it is larger than its replenish rate. This is so water here doesn't the aquifers and its natural regeneration rate doesn't match the rate at which humans or living organisms use it for different activities. That's all for today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And for the contribution, actually, you are pushing the boundaries of what we've been knowing pertaining to this topic which we are debating tonight. So maybe for us to ensure that we capture both perspectives, we'll now move on to the other side, those who are opposing this idea. So those who are to refute whatever the first three presenters have shared, please, it's your time. Make sure, as I've said, make sure you should base your argument on the key facts, the reasoning, as well as the relevant yet real examples, so that it should make your argument more powerful and more strong than the rest. Remember, the global audience is watching us as we are discussing. So make sure you make your point to be irresistible to ignore. Yeah, I can see your hand, Brother Nicholas. Over to you.
Yes. Am I audible enough?
Yeah, we can get you.
Yes, you are.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. The motion claims that water is the most abundant resource yet scarce. This is brilliant. However, it is fundamentally false to me. Water is not scarce. What is the real issue? The real issue is management. My argument is like this. The problem is not that water is finite. The issue is that there is infrastructural failures, governance, and then the lack of technology to access this abundant resource. Firstly, let's talk about the numbers. We well know that humans have been placed or have settled in different places, and yet water is almost everywhere. Yeah. So if you look at a scenario whereby people are settling in Sudan, people are settling for example, here in Uganda, in Karamoja, the issue is not that water is not in such places, but the real issue is the economics, the money to get the water from these aquifers. So it challenges the point where we assume that water in this place is not there, And yet the fact is that when, for example, we have seen NGOs going to such places, and because they go with the money, they are able to get water even from these deserts or the same deserts that we are trying to talk about. What does it tell us? It tells us that water is not the problem, but the problem is that humans don't have, one, the money, two, the technology to remove the water. To further give this argument more water, in 2006, the United Nations report famously stated that there is enough water for everyone, but the crisis is what? Due to mismanagement, corruption, lack of appropriate institutions, bureaucratic inertia, and shortages of investment, something that I've just spoken about. So it is not about the scarcity of water, but it is we who are failing to utilize this resource. Now, am I audible?
Yes, you can get you.
Yes.
So, just like I was saying, that we have seen in many places they are complaining that climate change. But with the climate change, it is just changing the pattern or the timing of this the elements of weather, the rains and then the sun. So if it was shining those days within maybe the months of maybe January to April, then it is shifting this time maybe up to July, sunny, but the rest of the months probably it starts raining. So if it is raining, we are getting water and plenty of water. But do we have the resources? Do we have the storage systems to store this vast amount of water before complaining within the dry spell that we don't have water? The water is wasted, it flows, and then at the end of the day we are crying, we don't have water. So it is not literally the problem of water, but it is the problem of we, the humans, that have failed to manage this abundant resource. We have complained that there is a lot of saline water. I've heard of some percentages. Yes, it is true, but we are in other countries, they are beating down this, they are breaking this barrier of the saline water with the improvement in technologies. Yes, they are quite expensive, and with the more technology that is coming up, they are even, I could say, the people are already trying to treat that saline water, and they are drinking with the technologies like reverse osmosis that is already on board, with technologies, actually, it used to have to cost a lot of fuel to treat this water, but there are technologies that are coming up that is reducing the cost of fuel consumption to treat this water. It is only that in some parts of the world, they are still unable to access these technologies. Some even still probably don't know about them. So literally, it is not the problem of water, but it is the problem of we, the humans. Maybe lastly, to give my colleagues also some room, a member talked about about the aquifers. Now, by the way, I want to bring to your notice that there is the waters underground is almost over 30 times more than the water within the surface. This is for our own information. But you find that we are over depleting some small areas, like for example, where they are drilling. When they drill the water, they over deplete or they over pick the water, and in the long run, when the water gets done, they complain that there is no water. So the fact is not about drilling deep and deep. It is about resource management. If we have already seen that this water from this aquifer is having this volume, then we need to also, as we are extracting the water, we need to give the aquifer time to recover. But if we are extracting, and then at the end of the day we are complaining, it is not the problem of water. It is we, the humans, who are overpicking this water. Thirdly, if you look at my sister talked about Lake Victoria being polluted. There is enough water in Lake Victoria, right? Quantitatively, there is enough water, but qualitatively, the water is becoming scarce. Why? It is because of the humans who have polluted the water. So who is the problem? Is it the water which is scarce, or it is the humans who have made the water kind of looking scarce, but in reality, there is a lot of water quantitatively. So with these kind of views, to me, water is really abundant, but one, mismanagement of the water resource. Two, geographic laziness of the humans. Yeah, they are geographically located in different areas, and yet water is abundant in other areas. You know. Thirdly, the corruption and the disgovernance systems, whereby they are not putting enough money to first of all purify this water, to extract this water to those who need it actually. Like for example, here in Uganda, people are crying in Karamoja, they need water, but the money is not being put there to pick for them the water. They are probably waiting for NGOs to go and pick the water. But in real sense, there is water, but there is no money to pick the water. So I end my point here for now and give room for my colleagues to usher in their arguments, and probably will come in later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nicholas, for the input. We really appreciate, and I believe when the next person is coming in, he or she is going also to cement on the foundation that you've just built. Yes, next, anyone in the same side with Nicholas?
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, are you getting me?
Yes, we can get you.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, as I said earlier, my name is Abel Wanami from Kenya. So I want to take part also to oppose this motion. And I want to say that water is not scarce, as my brother Nicholas has just said now, because water, over 70% of the earth consists of water. But what makes water to look like it is scarce is because of human activities. Look at industries. For example, waste from the industries, they always direct this waste to the rivers. So you realize that this river will be polluted. So you realize that you have water enough, but it has been polluted. So due to insufficient money or funds to purify water, so we will not have enough water that we will be using. So that is the reason why we are saying that water is there, but now the problem is it is human activities. Another thing about human activities, also we can talk about deforestation. We know very well that forest is very important, and where there is trees, there is rainfall. You know about the hydrological cycle, the process of water from the underground evaporation until the formation of precipitation. So when we practice deforestation, what we are trying to do, we are trying to reduce the evapotranspiration from the trees that can help us to get rainfall. But now the problem, now we don't have trees, so which means that we are not going to have what we call rainfall. So it is a human factor. So another thing about trees, we know very well that trees also act as water catchment areas. So when you try to cut these trees, which means that place we are not going to have enough water. So water will be look like it is scarce, but in a really sense, we have water, but we as human beings, if we come up and we try to control control this water. If we come up and we control this issue of cutting trees, which means that we are going to have enough water. So in a real sense, we don't have scarce water, but due to maybe another thing, maybe due to an unequal distribution of water in the country. For example, you find other places we have floods and other places we have drought. So you realize that other places are receiving enough, they have enough water. The other where there is drought, there is no water. But it is not that there's no water, because you have also underground water. But as my brother said, that due to lack of technology to drill water from underground, it will look like we don't have water, but in a real sense we have water. So in general, I oppose that water is not scarce, but we have enough water. But it's about us human being, whatever we are doing now. For example, about treating water. If we have enough funds, we can treat water and then we can have enough water. But now, due to for the sake of developing country, for example in Africa, because we don't have those enough funds, you realize that you are not going to manage to treat water, also to have funds for technology in order to exploit a lot of water. So it will look like it is scarce. But now you realize that it's not scarce, we have enough water. So because of time, I'm not going to take much time. I'm going to give room for another person. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the input. We appreciate and we acknowledge your position and the key facts they are in. So one more person from the side of Nicholas, or those who are opposing.
Good evening.
Yes.
Good evening to everyone.
Good evening.
I'm Scarce from Cameroon, and I'm here today. And today I stand in opposition to the motion that why water is scarce, but why is water the most abundant resource, but yet scarce? First of all, I want to say that this statement is not accurate, because, and it's actually contradicting, because how can you say there's a resource that is abundant but yet scarce? If something is abundant, then it's abundant. It can no longer be scarce. Okay, I will talk about mismanagement practices, the things that we are doing, and we turn around, we say that water is scarce. Okay, in majority of places, water shortages result from water pollution, leaky pipes, misuse, and wastage of water. Water is actually available, but the thing now is people are misusing it, and they later say the scarcity of water. When you look at some regions, you see that there's around 40% wastage of water just coming from leaky pipes. And we all agree that if we jointly manage our water by first of all fixing all the leaky pipes that we have, we stop water pollution, we stop the misuse of water, then we will eventually have enough water, and we won't be here saying that there's water scarcity. So actually, the idea of water being scarce is due to human failure. It's actually our fault, and it's actually our fault that there's water shortage. So fixing these mismanagement practices will solve most of the so-called scarcity issues that we are all here talking about. And also, when we come to technology, we already have the tools that have been made available for us to make water scarcity irrelevant. We can see that even with the mismanagement practices, technology has still made it possible for us to turn wastewater to clean drinking water. So actually, what excuse do we really have? It was in the past that people struggled to find clean water for use. But nowadays, there's been advanced technologies, like my fellow opposer said, there's desalination, which you turn seawater to clean water that you can be able to use. There's water recycling. There are treatment plants that are all here to help us save more water. So if we actually want to have enough water, we need to go in for this technology practices that are here for us. So I want to say that if you are still here saying that water is scarce, then it literally means that you overlook how technology mitigates this problem. Technology has already made it very easy for us. So if water was truly scarce, then why is technology here trying to control everything? So the simple truth is water is not scarce. They are the things that we do, all the mismanagement practices that we have been practicing that has made water scarce. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So much, Precious, for the brilliant contribution to this course. We really appreciate for stepping in within the side of opposing the motion. Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, to this far, we are now hitting the climax of our discussion, where I would like now to exchange the ideas, the reasoning, pertaining to what we've just gotten from both sides. So maybe it might happen that you joined the debate, but you had no point, or maybe you had no starting point to present or to make your argument. But given those insights from both sides, maybe it has ignited in you something worth speaking out. So maybe in the course, I will also give you a chance. But from that, we now move into the dead discussion, whereby I'll be posing key questions related to what we've just heard to encourage this debate and to encourage and to ignite their critical thinking in each of you. So the first question is like, why then, okay, should we now consider water scarcity as something caused by human activity or something limited by natural conditions? Given your perspectives, of course, I'll be juxtaposing the same with the arguments that you just presented. Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Yes, I don't know if you got me well.
Yeah, we got you well.
Okay, okay.
I asked a question like, what should we consider? What factors should we consider that are causing water scarcity, right?
Yes.
To me, the factors are both natural and human that are causing water scarcity. First, if we go to natural factors, we have the climate change issue, whereby there is some altering of the precipitation cycle that in the natural factors. That's an example, right? And if we go to the human factors, there are lots. And I think my fellow proposers are going to add on that. Now I'm just giving a highlight, then they'll explain more.
All right. I think I wanted, first of all, your position as to whether the water scarcity is caused more by human activity other than natural remedies. So I wanted to link that position to what Nicholas argued, where he said that water scarcity is not the problem, but rather the lack of technology and the storage infrastructure. So my question was like, how feasible is it for low-income communities if they are to implement the advanced water storage or extraction technologies? And suffice to say, what low-cost solutions could bridge this particular gap? Hello?
Yes, Brother Edison.
Hello?
Yes. Yeah, someone can come in so that we can address this paradox given what I've just highlighted.
Hello.
Hello?
Good evening once again. I think what the first opposer to speak tried to say was water scarcity isn't the problem, but water management seems to be the problem, right? Well, on a personal view, I think it would fall on a base of 50-50 if at all we are to carry out research about how that can happen. But if at all we are to say technology, like he said, because now technology is advanced, there is again where advanced technology, the presence of new methods to do reverse osmosis. In my opinion, I would still say, even if reverse osmosis were to happen and technology is indeed actually available, how are countries that are further from those oceans supposed to access the water he's talking about that is now going to be treated? Remember, during the process of treating this water, we are going to gain chemicals which have been at a water treatment plant before, much as, yeah, it was treating fresh water, but the wastes it disposed were kind of in a semi-liquid form, which at the end of the day will still have to be, much as they say it's treated, but the current levels of technology haven't been improved enough to deal completely with the wastewater that is used during water production. And it's a lot of wastewater which is taken back to the fresh water or the saline water that is going to be treated again. So at the end of the day, we are not treating water, we are instead increasing the negative things into this water. So at the end of the day, it's like you're changing nothing if at all you're to follow that cycle. And there are areas where even if water treatment was possible, underground water, I heard him say it's 30% more than the water on the surface of the earth. If at all you're to go on and drill that water completely, I don't know if at all you've taken time to know how that water gets to be underground. And I don't know if you also know that it also needs time to be replenished. So, and if at all you're to look at the total population and the uses of water that have come about, because biologically, chemically, water is a fundamental resource for anything to happen. And so the amounts of water being used, much as yes, some of it will be taken back to the earth, to the environment, but it won't still be in its physical, it won't still have its physical properties or chemical properties when it's taken back, and that makes it unfit for use. And the definition of water scarcity, by the way, from the time we began our discussion, we forgot to actually talk about what water scarcity really is. And water scarcity is it's a condition, it's a condition where the available fresh water resources are insufficient to meet the demands of people. agriculture, industries, and the environment in a given area. And if at all we are to look at the geographical distribution of all the water on this planet, on our planet rather, it's geographically unevenly distributed, whereby even with advanced technology, some areas will still be unable to get or access that water. Thank you.
Right.
Wow, great. We appreciate the kind of the reasoning that you are also bringing on today's table. Actually, that we can't take it away. So maybe juxtaposing what you just presented with what other guys from the opposing side shared pertaining to mismanagement. So if you are to say that the issue is institutional failure and mismanagement, then moving forward, what specific policy or governance measures would you recommend to ensure that water is accessible for all, not just those within the economic resources? Because it is one thing to have an advanced technology, maybe to do a reverse osmosis, but it's another thing to have no end of such technologies. But it's true more, you are privileged, you are supposed to have access to water. So within that particular scenario, what is that we can do differently if you are to ensure that the water is accessible to all, even if it is limited in its availability? Yeah, someone can come in for us to start this debate to make it more powerful.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Luke. Can I come in a little?
Yes, yeah, you can come in.
My sister was previously giving us some hints on with regards to the arguments. However, maybe to first begin with your question that you said, what should we do now to ensure that this water scarce in quotes, right? How can we now use this water or ensure this water is sufficient as we? Now, when you actually, first of all, analyze what we are trying to say, it is that we have the resource. But the issue, just like I said earlier on, is on now the management. We have the resource, but managing it is the one which has become a problem, right? Now, let me take you back to the aquifers that my sister highlighted. Now, these aquifers, like I already said earlier on, you find that when you drill the water, an engineer knows that this aquifer has this amount of water, it is able to give you this amount of water, and you need to give it this amount of time to recover this much amount of water. So, in most cases, what do? We proportionate the demand with the supply. If we say we have this large population or this large community, and then this aquifer is able to give us this amount of water, and we are supposed to give it this much time to recover. In most cases, people or the humans have not complied with what the water is saying down there. You know, in most cases, they over deplete. This is common within the industries, areas where the industries, because they need the water to cool their systems probably, so they have to deplete everything because they fear risking to lose their machines probably, and all this. They want to meet their customers' needs, and so they have no choice but to deplete the water resource. You see, so you find that they have not given the water the time to recover, and then they are able to pick the water. What can we do here in Uganda, particularly? I don't know what is happening in other places. There is what we call water permits. That if you drill water and you are picking water from an underground well, then you have to ensure that the government knows how much water you are picking, and then you also have to pay for picking that water, because for every amount of water you are picking, there should be a cost implication on the water. Why is this cost implication on this water? It is to regulate, it is to manage this natural resource, which we are saying it is scarce, and yet the fact is it is abundant. But if we regulate its use, like the government is trying to do, then this resource is going to be enough, just like UN said back in 2006, that this resource is enough for everybody, if only our governance systems are put right. You see, so literally we can manage this resource if we were all having a common understanding. Now, on the other issue that you tried to talk about, the technological limitations, just like I said, of course, earlier on still, it is not now the problem of water. It is we, the humans, that have not yet gotten these technologies which are sufficient to purify the water. And this gives us, we the water enthusiasts, like the platform to research more, to discover more technologies beyond even what is already existing, so that we are able to get this natural resource to the amount we want, because it is there, but using it has become a problem, So if we cook our heads properly, I am sure we shall be able to get these water resources to the volumes that we need. Then the other thing is that, by the way, there is what we call precision agriculture. I know it is already everywhere, but I just want to re-echo that in line with water management, there is what we call precision agriculture, where we are emphasizing the use of drip irrigation. Why do we want to tend towards drip irrigation? Because we have realized much water is being used in agriculture, and most of them are being wasted, flooded within the gardens. But if we now focus on using drip, that every drop counts, every drop of water matters, then tell me if we shall ever complain of fresh water or lack of clean water. When we are not flooding every land, but we are using every water, and every drop is counting. So otherwise, it is not the water really which is a problem, but it is we that have to check on ourselves, our management systems, the financial capacities of the governments and the humans to be able to pick water wherever it is, and then probably we shall not cry that water is scarce and all this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nicholas, for cementing the gap that was there pertaining to management and the kind of that topic we are debating tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, allow me to take a few questions from our group audience. I will select a few questions from the Zoom chat and YouTube live comments. So once I I bring you a question they proposing aside. Yeah. So number one, in the Zoom live chat, we have a question which says, what specific market-based mechanisms or radical technologies can rapidly and fundamentally change the economics of water use to mitigate scarcity in rapidly urbanizing high consumption areas?
Yeah, this question is from the live YouTube chat. So we have that question from the YouTube chat. Yeah, from live chat.
Yeah. So I ask it again, what specific market-based mechanisms or radical technologies can rapidly and fundamentally change the economics of water use to mitigate scarcity in rapidly urbanizing high consumption areas? Yeah. One response from the opposing and one response from the proposing side. Yeah, I can see Engineer Ezekiel Julius from Cameroon. Please say something. Okay, Osman Jira, any view on this question? Arafa, maybe you have something to say? What market-based mechanisms or technologies can we for us to mitigate the scarcity, especially in those areas with a high consumption?
I think this is kinda, I don't know, are they allowed to speak?
Yes.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to speak? I think this is kinda a general question, and it's kinda in terms with how humans can best comply or come to terms with how to use the water resource sustainably. And my take would be implementation of fair laws. Actually, the laws are existing, but following them is the hard part, because you see, conservation and economic development kind of rival each other, and one happens at the expense of the other, especially right now in a generation where people are more focused on economically gaining than sustainably conserving. And so in my personal opinion, I think fair implementation of laws on how to use water resources and research on how water resources can better be protected. And I know it would be awkward to say to find different means to replace water, because that can't happen definitely. But if at all an alternative could be found, maybe water could be given time to generate normally. And then also I'll talk about, all in all, I think it's also increasing awareness of the people so that they know the advantages of conserving their own water and how to conserve it. And yeah, that's all I can think of for now. Let some other person continue, please.
Thank you very much.
Great, great. That's amazing, Arafa. Thank you for your input. And such question was posed by Abdul Hakim from, should be from Nigeria. Yeah. Thank you so much, Abdul Hakim, for tuning in. We appreciate your effort for steering this debate. Actually, we've gotten your question. I hope it has been addressed somehow. Thank you so much for tuning in. Allow me also to take one more question from the chat. Frameworks fail to adequately incentivize both conservation and equitable cross-border distribution, thereby perpetuating localized scarcity. I don't know if it was a comment or maybe what.
Yeah, you can move to the next question. We are running out of time, so we can wrap up fast.
Yeah, I think in the Zoom chat, that's okay. Let me pick one from the chat. Okay. Okay, all right. Yeah, so there is also another question from the YouTube chat posted by Rachel Decent. Actually, first of all, he has acknowledged Mr. Nicholas that indeed mismanagement is the main cause of scarcity. So he's asking what can be done to enhance mismanagement of water. What can be done to enhance the mismanagement of water? Yeah, please, our debaters, let's say something to the question that has been posed by Rachel on this tint, so that
Engineer Julius, your hand is up. He has something to say.
Yeah.
Sorry, could you please pardon the question?
All right. From what Nicholas presented, he said that the problem is mismanagement. Then Tint is asking what can be done to this mismanagement problem for us to have a clear kind of what we want to have within the water perspective.
Yeah, Mr. Julius' hand is up. I think he can answer. He has been there, so he's against.
Yes.
Mr. Julius? I think he's there. Okay, so some other person can answer, probably.
All right. Rafa, you can say something quickly, 30 seconds. What can be done?
Like, the question is like, what measures can be taken, right?
What can be done to the mismanagement problem?
I know,
yeah.
I know, as my friend already said, Arafa, like, first of all, have to put enhancement of the laws. They are already existing, only that they are being broken and they're not being enforced by the responsible bodies. Like, maybe, as you can say, according to the SDGs, we have cleaning water and sanitation, and it has to be enhanced. That SDG, I think it is a sustainable goal. Is it 6? So if we follow that, if we carry out enhancement of the laws, and whereby there is this in conservation, we have a lot of polluters pay principle, and if we see in urban areas, people are polluting, and of course, that's where the point of mismanagement and misuse of water is driving from these urban areas. So if we enforce the law of polluters pay principle, whereby what if you pollute the water bodies or the water resources, then you pay for it, then people will be so keen about conserving or about using water well. So as to prevent its scarcity, then also we can also go for public-private partnerships. Here, in most cases, it is all of us, public, like community engagement, not only the responsible bodies. Like, for example, in Uganda, we can say we have National Water and Sewerage Corporation. So if it's always National Water and Sewerage Corporation, meaning about water treatment and water quality and water whatever management, then it's going to be too hard. The other bodies will continue polluting and misusing water, then, which is also going to cause its scarcity. But if we call about collaboration and partnerships, about like everyone is responsible for water, then they can try to manage.
Thank you very much. I see some hands from 350532.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. Yeah. So I'm coming to answer a point of the point you said of what can be done to the mismanagement of water scarcity. That's the question they asked, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm just looking about in where I'm coming from, Cameroon. When you are talking of water mismanagement, you can look at here. We have water is being swapped. Maybe water is being managed by the state have their own water and water. Why the community have their own water? Why the council? Maybe say the municipal council are also in charge of water. So when you are looking of the mismanagement of water, you're looking at most system, those in charge at those at the top or those who are managing water, most of them at the local level, at the community level, most of them they are not most of them they are not competent. So when most of them are not competent and they make water management, water there will be a lot of mismanagement because some of them tend to do favoritism in the distribution of water. Also, some of them do not have the adequate skills to some of them do not have the adequate skills to protect. Let me say, like in most water catchment, and also what can be done that in most of those community water is that it's good that those who are educated they can also use the community based approach by that's the bottom top approach by bringing the community closer, like explaining them that the importance of water. Like you can see there are certain catchment that maybe most people they do agricultural activities closer to the water catchment, and when they are doing most of those agricultural activities to the water catchment now, those will lead to pesticides and insecticides and all those pesticides and insecticides will affect, it will contaminate the water, and when it's contaminating the water will also lead to mismanagement. And most at times people are ignorant. Like somebody people are ignorant. Most people are ignorant. Like somebody will just be using water that no, let me just use water. That water is abundant without having that consciousness that is something I have to manage a resource so that the next person, the future generation, like he was talking about the sustainable development goals. You don't have to use a resource that you don't have to compromise the present generation and the future generation. So looking at what can be done in this management of water, what is something that they have to have a collective effort. Each and individual has a collective effort and the caution of water and taking in consideration the sustainable development goals to make that water should be a resource that everybody has to protect water. Thanks.
Wow, that's great contribution.
Thank you so much for your contribution. We appreciate. Yeah, of course, in the course of our debate, there was a mention that sometimes, given our geographical laziness, maybe sometimes we find ourselves maybe residing or maybe having a settlement in an area which is not feasible maybe for water access or maybe extraction of it of it. As such, there is a need for us to pump in the financial resources for us to implement the kind of the infrastructures needed for the same purpose. Now, pertaining to that, if you had to come up with a long-term kind of solutions, do you think relying on NGOs or external funding may not can be taken as a long-term strategy? And suffice to say, if it is so, how best can we ensure that all communities can independently access available water? Just 20 minutes, just your key point, or we move on to the next aspect.
Can I talk, sir?
Yeah, great.
So I'm having a worry, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, my worry is like looking about the African content. You know, most NGOs they have made the local communities do not local community mostly have, let me say, a negative impact and negative mindset about most NGOs because most NGOs that tend to carry out project with them, like project in water, to carry out project maybe in water catchment or to water or to preserve, let me say, a protected stream, and there is most of them that are made in a way that the local communities they feel reluctant to believe NGOs. I'm saying from the country that I'm coming from, because most of those NGOs now they have made it to be an income generation. So most of them going to carry out even when most of them are going to carry out a long term or whatever, most of them will tend to sign, maybe they can sign a partnership with a municipal council and the rest now, and the let me say with the council or stakeholders involved in the environment, water, and the rest.
Thank you very much.
Most of the local communities now, they have some generation of selfish interests. So my worries is that when you are talking of an NGO in water, because some people do, and some of those CEOs, the NGO, they do not have that steward of to protect the environment or to make the community to protect the environment or to have, let me say, law for the community. Why I'm saying so is because, like when you see on the World Environment Day, when we went for World Environment Day, we went to World Water Day, all the celebration, the celebration of World Water Day, when we went to sensitize the community in a where I went for clean up at the catchment, when we went to sensitize the community, we had a very their opinion about being an NGO was just bad because the community was just feeling reluctant that no, these NGOs, this is they'll come and snap them, they will ask money, they will not do project, and also the council is a failure. God when the council did not even partake in the catchment, in the water catchment. So I'm asking my question that what can you, in most NGO, what can you recommend NGOs that want to die to water or to solve the problem of water scarcity to do? Because since most people are now having some kind of mindset, are having a negative mindset about NGOs, because most of people think that NGOs is most people have a notion that NGO is a scam, or NGO is just how to come and fool people. It's just how to come and lie the local community or fool them.
All right. Thank you so much for the contribution, and suffice to say for also posing us yet another question for us to ponder. Actually, as from the eco perspective, you may attune with us that we have introduced these annual trainings, which we call the environmental, water, sanitary, and inspection kind of programs. So these programs are aimed at training or maybe empowering youths like you to be change makers in your respective communities. You know, because by the end of those trainings, you're also empowered, given the area of analytics, to go back to your residential settings, and you figure out where there is that particular water-related need, and given your assessment, you write a kind of a proposal, and then you submit to us, and we also share with other concerned stakeholders who might also look into that particular report or maybe a document, and then they can also see how best they can be in touch with you to help your community from that kind of problem that you have raised in your document. So through this kind of modality, you realize that instead of you waiting for external stakeholders or organization, you are the one in your in your setting, figuring out the real challenges. And once you've identified it and we've empowered you, then you are able to also mobilize those like-minded people, and you form a team to be like a reliable kind of watch-based kind of team who can also be trusted instead of taking more, or maybe instead of inviting an external kind of body to be like the overseer of your own problems. So thereby it's like we are also modeling the kind of community ownership. So it should start with you first for those external stakeholders to complement, you understand. So I think we as an organization, we are also helping you in that particular aspect. But of course, yes, we cannot generalize that all organizations have got like a singular mission, but it is also upon your discretion as a team to ensure that you have also taken your enhanced due diligence to ensure that you are not scammed. Yeah, otherwise we appreciate your contribution, and we really we are motivated having you this evening. So another aspect that I also captured from those who are in support of the mission, they mentioned that water demand exceeds its natural replenishment, and that aquifers cannot regenerate fast enough. So from that perspective, I just want like your suggestions, especially those practical strategies that communities or governments could adopt if they are to balance the usage with natural replenishment. A minute, anyone with a response? Yeah, given the fact that water demand exceeds its natural replenishment and that aquifers cannot regenerate fast enough. So what practical strategies can communities or government adopt if they are to balance the usage with natural replenishment? Anyone with an idea can raise your hand. Those watching our YouTube channel, you can drop your reactions in the live chat. We're gonna pick and recognize your contribution. Let's keep the debate active and live. Precious, if you have something to say, Adafin, I can see you, Osman, Maureen also, yeah, though you are a moderator, but still more your input will also be highly acknowledged.
We have a hand from Mr. Nicholas and Arafa, Madam Arafa. So let's go, please, guys. You can take a shot, maybe one. Yeah, maybe 1 minute. You can throw light on that. Yes. Mr. Nicholas, you can start.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Just to be brief, to me, what we can do in that case, I could break it into three. One would be improving on our governance strategies. We would encourage our leaders to improve on the government strategies. In that, as you all know, in most parts of Africa, the key decision makers in most cases have become the politicians. And when you try to look behind these politicians, you find that most of them have just won votes, but and then because of the votes, they have been placed in positions where most of them are not supposed to literally be. And because they also want to be there, they are making decisions which, of course, are affecting the majority. You see, so I would, to me, suggest that our governance systems be strengthened in that the experts be in these key positions and then be able to give decisions which can be sustainable in the long run. Then the other thing, it is now the youth, it is now the students to step up with our technologies, our research works, and our discoveries and innovations to come up with the other better technologies to ensure that water resources is managed. As we all know, this is the era of data. How can we leverage data? How can we leverage IoT how can we leverage the internet to ensure that we incorporate it into water management. We incorporate into detecting of these leakages within the pipes. We incorporate into precision agriculture. We incorporate it into detecting even waters below the aquifers. The volumes, how they are changing vis-a-vis how we are depleting them. So if we focus our ideas into these innovative um, approaches, then probably in the long run we shall be able to manage these resources. Then maybe the last one is the community engagement, like just like we are doing now within the Ecolab community, where we have introduced this program of the certified environmental sanitary inspector. This is one of the things that we have literally started, and we thank the collab for bringing these initiatives, because we want to start empowering the youth first. From the youth, then we are sure the community is going to be empowered. Yeah, because we are going down there to really find the issues in line with water, and after finding the issues in line with water, then we are also going to come up with the solutions ourselves. In that case, we are trying to bridge the gap between the community, the youth, and probably the government. So I would implore us to all get enrolled and then see that we act on these things by ourselves, because we cannot again wait for donors, from funders, from whatsoever. Let's be the whites within our communities. Let's be the funders within our communities by doing what we are doing already, and even encouraging more to join, so that we see that we have changed the face of our communities. We have managed our resources by ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Within the interest of time, I will just pick one question from the YouTube live chat. Once we have addressed that question, I will make a summary of what has transpired throughout this debate, and gonna conclude. Yeah, so the last question is that this is a question from Rachel on this team. Is saying since the highest percentage of available water is not usable, can we develop an easy question? But I would love that once you said yes, if yes, what sort of easy application strategy can we develop? And maybe the how bit of it can be detailed. I don't know. And this, if you are part of a WhatsApp group, or maybe Facebook follower, or maybe LinkedIn, just tag us, and then we'll also post this question so that we can know how best we can expand on the actual description of this easy application strategy. Yeah, but definitely there is that sort of strategies, but maybe as a team of debaters, we can just give some highlights about this question. What sort of e-simplification strategies can we deploy, given the fact that the highest percentage of available water is not usable? Yes, 20 seconds from Wanam from Kenya. 20 seconds. Prosper, 20 seconds. What can you say about this? Or maybe anyone, you can step in.
I think.
I would say maybe.
Yes. Hello. Yes.
Maybe since the biggest percentage of water cannot be used, I personally think we can retreat and reuse the available water, the available wastewater, like the water that is released from the so-called dirty water that is collected during rainfall. I think it's kind of clean, so we can retreat it and use it for other things. And also, I don't know if this sounds gross, but water released from different wastewater released from maybe households, like maybe the water that has been used in dishwashing. If that water can be retrieved and treated and specifically directed to channels like maybe bathrooms, and then that will reduce on the pressure that newly treated water is going to get, like the former water that hasn't been into supply before is going to get, and then that water is kept for different uses while the other one is also treated and used for that other reason.
Great, that's very brilliant. Yes, if it is available but it cannot be treated, the alternative option is to reuse it. Remember, reuse is also an innovative kind or way of managing our water. You know, that's great. And also making use of filtration systems, the chlorination, and even the boiling bit of it can also help purify something that is also available, yet you cannot declare it as potable or safe for drinking. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that said, I do really appreciate for all the contributions that we've got from this international youth debate. But before we call it evening, allow me to wrap up with the key insights from both proposing side and the opposing side. So I begin with the key insights from the proposing side, that water is abundant but is scarce due to human factors. Yes, we acknowledge that there is this human mismanagement as a driver of water scarcity, such is supported by the fact due to poor governance, corruption, inadequate investment, and weak infrastructure, which prevent equitable access to water. And suffice to say, there is also industrial pollution and deforestation, where industrial waste do contaminate rivers. Deforestation reduces transpiration, thereby disrupting the rainfall pattern. And from the economical view of which water exists in many regions, even some arid regions, but the lack of resources, technologies, and storage systems limits the practical access. And from the environmental perspective, there is climate change, which exacerbate the scarcity, such is seen through the temporal and spatial rainfall variability among from across communities, whereby there is a lack of storage infrastructure and planning, which worsens the problem. And from the insight, which was also given from the UN report, which ensures that global water is sufficient for everyone, but mismanagement and institutional failure create a perceived scarcity. So actually, there's some of the key takeaways that we can get from the proposing side. Now moving on to the opposing side, that indeed scarcity is real and practical. Number one, water cannot always be used safely. So even where water exists, still more there is pollution, contamination, and poor quality make it unsafe, thereby effectively creating the scarcity. And from the infrastructural bit of it, there is leaky pipes and inefficient distribution systems, which can also waste up to almost 40% of water, thereby contributing to scarcity, especially in urban areas. And from the wasted bit of it, there is improper domestic, agricultural, and industrial water use, which also compounds their scarcity, as you say that there is a problem between balancing their usage and the replenishment bit of it, you understand? And also, while water may be abundant in volume, accessibility, usability, and safety define whether it is effectively available to communities. So, from what we've gotten from both sides, we've agreed that human activities strongly influence water scarcity, and such that infrastructure, governance, and technology are also critical determinants of whether water can meet human needs. And suffice to say, environmental factors, especially climate change, rainfall variability, deforestation, interact with human systems to affect water availability. As such, solutions are therefore required for us to combine policy, investment, technology, and education. So that said, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to commend you for all the contributions, the views, as well as the key facts that you've presented for us to cement the kind of the motion we had tonight. So we've had strong arguments, evidence, and thoughtful perspectives. So the discussion shows that water abundance does not always translate into access, and that solutions require both responsibility and action. And suffice to say, it is you and me who should be like the change makers, not only in our localities, but also from across the globe. Or I always ask people or the youth, wherever I am, that if it is not you, then who? If it is not me, then who? If it is not now, then when? So it is one thing for us to present these arguments, but it is another thing for us to leave the responsibility of the kind of the key facts that we've presented tonight. Otherwise, you were with me, Luke Lawrence, as your moderator, together with Maureen Award. Maureen, are you here? Maybe you have something to share or to say. Maureen Award. All right, thank you so much. Otherwise, that's all we had for you. Yeah, over to you, Mr. Cole, if you have anything to say, or we call it a night.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. I think it's a very interesting debate. I've learned a lot, and I must recommend that all of you are really intelligent, because I kind of learned a lot of things related to water, and how, of course, like the two different aspects are, really serious. And for me, it's a difficult choice to, if we have to say that we have to select a winner, maybe there's a prize, because we are going to be thinking about putting up prizes for our upcoming debate sessions, and like to know who are going to be the winners, and then of course, like, having a prize from that. So this is our first session of debates, and other topics will be coming up for different debates. But I must say that I've learned a lot from this debate session, and then I know truly we are dealing with really good experts. All of you are experts from your defense point of view, from your in-depth analysis. It's really amazing. I must say, because there's no way to divide the both parties. It's not possible. So I'm really impressed, and thank you all once again. And let's not forget, Mr. Luke was saying something related to us being the main people to solve the problems in the community, which is true. We've all seen that all both points are very critical, and so therefore let's step into communities and solve it. Whatever we can do, whatever tools we can use, no matter how much we have, we can do something. Little is not small, or rather, it's not to say I have just little, but that little could mean a lot. And the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. That's always what we have to understand. And I believe so much that all of you are going to be doing great in your communities, and wherever we are working together, we all put our minds to one vision. And thank you again once more, and thank the moderators, and thank all of you, the experts, the opposers and proposers. It's been an amazing time having this session with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Otherwise, wishing you the best of the evening. Bye-bye.
Yeah, good night, everyone. Thank you for your time.